Hello everybody and welcome to Game A Dayer. It is day 558 here on Game A Dayer. My name is Step and today it is a Sunday, which means, of course, it is a Sunday story time. And we are going to be playing Sound of Drop, Fall into Poison. Nestled in the heart of Tokyo, the quaint little aquarium, Manten Aquarium, numerous urban legends have arisen from here. On the night of the full moon, the waters turn to blood, and man-faced fish lurk within. Maybe we should have played this for Halloween or something. I don't know. We'll have something for Halloween, don't you worry. This game has very positive reviews, and is from a publisher that I recognize, and is available on Steam for $13.99. So, if you want to pick up your copy of Sound of Drop, Fall into Poison, then you can absolutely do that. But first, why not join us while we play it? Okay, we are here? Yes. This work contains depictions of excessive violence and grotesque imagery. Ooh, a horror game. So, I'm not sure how you're supposed to read those warnings all in one go. I don't read that fast. Melancholy music. Sound of Drop. Oh, and Salem has decided to join me for this recording, so we'll see how that works out. He's currently curled up going to sleep, so yay. It's a beautiful game. I think the sound levels are okay too. We'll find that out as we go along. So I'm just going to start, and actually I'm going to move there, because I think that is going to be the best place for me. Before she realized it, the girl was standing before an imposing door. We start off in a dream. Go figure. The girl occasionally came to Manten Aquarium alone. She watched the manta rays, she watched the jellyfish, and finally, she decided it was time to go home. Where is this? She had her doubts, but there should be nothing else there except for the aquarium. She assured herself that she had probably wandered off onto a side path. The door before her had a large padlock hanging from it. Just as she had heard, it was unlocked and merely dangling there. The girl drew in a breath. Being locked would usually mean that it was a place she shouldn't enter, but being open just meant that a staff member had forgotten to lock it, so going in was out of the question. Her curiosity piqued. She was past the point of persuasion. Her imagination ran wild, and her mind raced at the prospect of what might lie beyond the door. Just for a little bit. Just a peek, basically. Just a peek. She opened the door and saw lots of glass tanks. Several types of fish hailing from the deep seas, from football fish and oarfish to pelican eels and barrel eyes were swimming around. Why isn't this an exhibit? She thought it over, wondering why this would be in a closed-off area. Behind her, the door shut on its own. The girl spaced out, staring at the deep-sea fish swimming about. They would leap from the tank and swim in midair. The entirety of the room was the fish and their ocean. Though it was an unnatural occurrence, the girl treated it as quite normal. Wasn't there originally a deep-sea fish booth that was shut down? I'm sure there was. I'm sure you're right. Was that the back of her eyes? She suddenly remembered at that moment her surroundings were she suddenly remembered. At that moment, her surroundings were dyed a deep red. The water in the tanks, the fluorescent lights, all of it was red. The girl's vision also became red. When she opened her eyes, the girl was back in her own room. It was well into the night. She couldn't remember how she had gotten home after all of that. But more importantly, she had a bad feeling about something else. It isn't red here. She became aware of how hard it suddenly was to breathe. No matter how hard she gasped, she was unable to get oxygen into her body. Like a fish who couldn't breathe anywhere but in the water. She couldn't breathe unless she was inside that red color. Interesting. She was convinced. On impulse, she threw open the window, leaned out, and thrust a hand outside. She couldn't inhale the wind flooding her room. She could only smell its milky, unpleasant scent. More. At that moment, the girl's body was tossed into the air. For just a second, her body seemed to float like a fish in the sea. Her room was on the 12th floor of her apartment building. In her fading consciousness, the girl watched her blood flow endlessly from her body. It's red. Only then could she breathe. Now everything would be fine. The girl smiled. The full moon in the night sky smiled too. Ooh, creepy. Drop. Drip, drip. The sound of falling drops. The moon was concealed behind the clouds, and all of the lights in the town were covered in water. The sound of it was the only thing left to resonate. She couldn't tell whether it was hot or cold, merely that the humid air was encircling her. Drip, drip. Wherever they were falling to, wherever they were coming from, the drops just continued to trickle out. That single drop. I stopped it with both hands. The sound of that solitary red drop. It was a cool transition. Or at least there's an urban legend that goes like that. Talking about Mantan Aquarium again? That's your new thing, isn't it? While stuffing her lunch into her mouth, Tamagawa Himeno spoke, her eyes sparkling. I had no idea which point in the story got her so excited. That's right, isn't this the scariest part? That the girl jumped to her death, smiling, after coming back from Mantan Aquarium. It's pretty bad. Yet you don't seem the least bit scared, Himeno. That's not true. I've got chills running down my spine. Someone who's got chills running down her spine wouldn't be eating a pastry so cheerfully. Someone who's got chills running down her spine wouldn't be eating a pastry so cheerfully, and hey, that's my meatball! During a break in the conversation, Himeno stole a side dish from my boxed lunch. I can't tell which of these characters is which. I think this is this is Himeno, and This is, I don't know the name, so. This mincemeat from growing calves and little piglets? This mincemeat from growing calves and little piglets. Oh, so young veal and pork. It's the best. Why do you have to put it like that? Geez, why do you have to make me lose my appetite? Mayumi. Her name is Mayumi. I'll give you the rest of it. That's why she did it. All right, I'll take it. Himeno takes the rest of the meatballs from my lunch with amazing rhythm. The reason that I, Nakanobe Mayumi, lost my appetite wasn't because Himeno's story scared me. Manten Aquarium and I are connected in a way that I'd rather not think about. Of course, Himeno has no idea about that connection. If she knew, she'd never mention Manten Aquarium around me again. At the same time, I've been afraid that this thing might cause Himeno to stop talking to me. Himeno is pretty much my only friend. It isn't that I haven't talked to anyone since entering junior high, just that the only person I can actually call a friend is Himeno. Seriously, I think this whole Manten Aquarium rumor obsession is getting to be a bit much. Maybe that there's so many rumors though, like that there's a man's ghost in the tanks, that the deep sea fish booth is only open on the full moon, that the water changes into blood, or that you can hear crying from behind the tanks. That earlier one goes with this one, also. No, that's fine. You don't need to say any more. I say firmly, causing Himeno to make a sour face. Soon after, Himeno changes the subject, first to a TV drama that aired the night before, then to some cute fake nails with cats on them that she found in a magazine. She then talks about a classmate who was dating a boy from a nearby private school, alighting on one subject before quickly changing to the next. Normally, the subject of Manten Aquarium shouldn't have popped up again. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about earlier. What exactly are we getting back to? Manten Aquarium! I looked into it, and this Sunday will be the full moon. That was all I could say. The rest of my words were unable to come out. So we should go and see if the rumors are true or not. But I know you aren't interested in stuff like urban legends, Mayu, but next week we'll be preparing for the end of the semester, and I won't be able to hang out with you. Lately we haven't gone anywhere together, have we? If the full moon was next Saturday, I'm sure Himeno wouldn't have said anything, but I suspect because it happens to be this Sunday, and next week happens to be our exams, she's chosen Manten Aquarium. I know that I'm not hiding my confusion or my hesitation very well. Even so, Himeno turns her carefree grin my way. Since it's an aquarium, even if the rumors aren't true, we can still have fun, right? Well, that's true. Usually, anywhere I go with Himeno, I have fun. Whether or not we'd have fun was not what I was worried about. By the way, Mayu, in the east building of Manten Aquarium, they have a Häagen-Dazs. Dates? I don't know what that is. Häagen-Dazs? A Häagen-Dazs? As in the eat-in restaurant? They had closed up at one point, but it looks like they're reopening for a limited time. Really? Really? They have the cookies and cream flavor you like too, Mayu. Of course, I hesitate, but in the end, that settles it. Then we'll go. As long as we definitely get some cookies and cream. Saying you have no money because you did too much shopping is out of the question. I know, after all, I'm something of a glutton myself. Fine, fine. In the end, we settle on Manten Aquarium and ice cream for Sunday. Since I've already received my reward money for moving on to the next grade, I don't need to worry about my allowance. Still, it's been 5 years. Did you say something, Mayu? Nope, nothing. I bite my tongue, covering my words that had carelessly spilled out. I'm looking forward to the aquarium. It's probably been about 10 years. I'm looking forward to the cookies and cream. It's probably been about 10 years. That's not true. It's the truth. That's the only thing I'll eat there. Himine goes, "You little," as she playfully stretches my cheeks. The end of lunch chime sounds, and Himine goes back to her own seat. If it's with Himino, I'll be fine. That's what I told myself at the time. Sound of a drop. A mystery. How mysterious. That music wasn't very mysterious. But that's okay. Sunday is 3 days after that. The day I promised to go with Himino to Manten Aquarium has arrived. We are to meet at noon at the Manten Show station. As is customary for me, I arrive 30 minutes early. Really? 30 minutes? Wow. I don't arrive that early for anything. Leaning against a pillar, I do nothing but space out. Tons of people pass before me. Manten is really crowded on days off. Even so, there aren't really that many families or groups of students. Everyone around me appears to be adults. Because of that, I quickly begin to feel uneasy. Within this crowd, I am alone. Inexplicably, my head begins to hurt. I wonder if Himino will be here soon. I mutter to myself, then look at my shoes. Oh, they're cute. Deep blue sandal boots that were this year's newest product. When Mom and I had stopped off at a department store on Saturday, she bought them for me after some coaxing on my part. They were far from what you'd call high quality, but they were still a bit pricey at a junior high schooler's allowance. I'm not usually the type to beg, but I couldn't take my eyes off these boots. My mom bought them with almost no resistance, saying, "You're going out of town, so I need you to look your best." I liked both their form and their color, and found them a better fit for the summer season than anything else. I take my cell phone out and check the time. There are still 15 minutes to go until we're to meet. Since Himino is always 3 minutes later than the time we established, I've got about another 20 minutes. I finished reading my paperback on the train, so I have nothing to kill time with. There is nothing I can do about it, so I decide to keep myself from boredom by watching the people passing by. If I don't keep myself distracted, horrible thoughts will revive in my mind. I'm always worrying about what will happen if I'm late, though. It had actually been about a month and a half since Himino and I had gone out. We always talked at school, but rarely spent time together afterwards. Anyone who saw us probably thought we were opposites. Outings like this aside, we often spend I often spend my days off at home. When I was in elementary school, our family would go out often, but lately that's been limited to dining out on Saturdays. So when I'm asked what I do when I stay home, I usually just say I do nothing. Doing homework and watching TV is stuff that seems pretty common to me. On the other end of the spectrum is Himeno, who goes out regularly. I often hear stories of when she went to karaoke on weeknights or about how she traveled out of town on Sundays. She's a member of an active sports club and often wants to hang out with them afterwards. Going out of town on the already limited days we have off tends to make me think, even though it's a day to rest, I don't feel rested at all. In other words, something like this is the difference between Himeno and I. Without much common ground between us, why we became friends is... Suddenly, the light fades from my vision. It wasn't just that it became dark, it's that I had the sensation of being unable to breathe. But rather than sweating it, I get a little mad. Sorry. Hearing my wordless protest, Himeno pulled her hands away. I get playing the who am I game while covering someone's eyes, but covering up someone's mouth too is just like Himeno. When I puff out my cheeks to object, Himeno just smiles at me. It's because you were staring into space, Mayu. Instead of apologizing, Himeno blew on the nape of my neck. Without thinking, I made a weird sound. Embarrassed, I look around 2 or 3 times, but the pedestrians walking by seemed unperturbed and didn't even look our way. The culprit who had surprised me moves in front of me before I realize it. You're mean, Himeno. But I got to hear something good. No, you didn't. Moreover, As I say that, I check the time on my smartphone. It's 3 minutes to noon, our agreed upon meeting time. 3 minutes to noon is a weird meeting time. It's not time yet. How rare. Oh, noon is the agreed upon meeting time. Gotcha. That's rude. Jeez. I'll make you make a weird noise again. Saying that, Himeno opens and closes her fingers in small, swift grasping motions. At times like this, I know I'd better change the subject or get messed with by Himeno again. Oh, by the way, did you buy a new one? You mean a necktie? Yes, I did. I thought I should get one to match my shorts. You and I haven't hung out since around midterms, Mayu. If I buy something today, I'll really be out of money. What about the aquarium? You're still set on finding out about the urban legends then? Of course, that's my #1 goal. But as usual, I can't count the things I want to do on just one hand. Okay, I get it. As long as I eat cookies and cream, that is absolute. I haven't forgotten. Anyway, Mayu, aren't your sandals new? Himeno says as she looks at my feet, talking about 3 times as fast as she does in class. Yeah, nice, aren't they? They're super cute. How cool, I want a pair too. Nope, then we'd be too similar, and these are the only pair of sandals I have for the summer. Talking like this, it put me at ease. Unlike myself, who is childish, Himeno knows a lot about fashion and trends. Even here in Manten, it seems like she blends in. Most importantly, by being with Himeno and constantly chatting, I no longer feel lonely. Oh, yeah, Himeno. Why did you bring such a huge bag? She's got a big bag. I'm glad you asked. With a Himeno opens the Boston bag she had let sink down from her shoulder. A variety of things come out, such as a flashlight, insect repellent, a simple blanket, a first aid kit, matches, and snacks like chocolate and cookies. What is all this, Himeno? Where do you plan on going? Ignoring the twitch developing in my face, Himeno thumps her chest. Geez, to the aquarium, but since we're investigating urban legends, we should at least have some supplies. Rather than investigation, the equipment she has reminds me more of going camping in the mountains. The snacks and blanket aside, where in the city this size would we need an insect repellent or a flashlight? I keep those feelings to myself and just smile. I let out a breath that is half exasperated, half amused. I don't get sick of being with Himeno. Whether Himeno is aware of my exasperated gaze or not, she starts to take something out, then quickly shoves it back in. She gives me a smile, implying some secret. No, wait, it's too soon for you to see that. What are you about to pull out? I'm not telling. Upon saying that, Himeno quickly closes the bag. The way I see it, it is a wonder that she fit all of the supplies she had out just a moment ago. I wonder where it's all being stored. Well, in the bag. Maybe it's a bag of holding. By the way, no club today? I ask with the underlying question of whether or not today is a day off for the club. At my question, Himeno averts her eyes. No, probably no club today. Really? Giving a brief answer, I start walking. Upon hearing her reply, I immediately understand it as, she skipped it again. But not wanting to ruin the merry mood, I merely quicken my pace. I'm not in any clubs, but even I know that's not good to skip. Speaking honestly, I want her to show up for the club as she seems to be respected even by the students from other schools. Coming here together like this makes me equally guilty though. Once I get thinking, I don't usually stop, so the conversation shifts to a ramen shop that catches my eye. Oh, Mayud, do you want to get lunch? Huh? You caught that. Apparently she's observant of her friend. Feeling as if she had seen right through me, we head into a nearby coffee shop. What? But ramen! Why the coffee shop? There was ramen right there. It is apparently famous following its coverage in a magazine for a sandwich that was overflowing with vegetables. I say apparently because on excitedly finding the restaurant, Himeno shared this. Compared to a hamburger shop, this place is a bit intimidating and trendy to me, but since I'm with Himeno, it doesn't bother me. Shoving a roast chicken sandwich with extra olives that I ordered into my mouth, the unease I have been feeling disappears. So, we're, 25 minutes into this video, and I feel like they're killing time? I don't know, but this is... The writing is fine, the characterization is fine, the pace is fine, but I feel like I want to get to the aquarium already. Like, I don't know, maybe I should just relax and settle into the story. In contrast to my fervor, Himeno eats her avocado and shrimp sandwich in small bites. Well then, about our plans for the day. Himeno starts in as soon as we have finished eating. We'll start at the aquarium. No matter what, that's the main thing. So we'll look into the old man's ghost and the closed-off deep-sea fish booth rumors. After that, we'll go to the shops and finally have some ice cream. I think it's better to get the cookies and cream first. If you eat 2 times, you'll mess up your stomach and get fat. You won't be able to wear a bathing suit. Ah, Himeno, it's not fair for you to put it that way. It isn't fair. Himeno is in the exercise club, so she will be fine. But for someone like me who doesn't exercise enough, it makes me stop and think. Having said I want to go to the pool, it is all the more important. Okay, then, we'll stick to my plan. That was a delicious meal. Urged on by Himeno, I decided to leave the ice cream shop for another time. For a little later. Talking about silly things together, we leave the station behind. As opposed to the station's excellent cooling system, the city streets have a peculiar humidity and heat to them that envelops our bodies. The beginning of July, summer has only just begun, and I can already tell this is going to be a tough one. Yeah, tell me about it. It almost reached 100 degrees in Paris. Oof. We weave our way through the crowds until we are 10 minutes away from the station, finally ending up in front of a skyscraper. The building is a symbol for the people of Manten, a combined facility for commerce, what you might call a fashion building in reference to the businesses it contains. Manten is a town known as a place people go for amusement. If you really want to have a good time, then have a movie theater, arcades, and several shops. They have them. Though you need to have money, yeah. Because of that, young men and women are more numerous than boys and girls. In this town of people older than us, Himeno scans the panel for each floor without fear, saying, the aquarium is... People are concentrated around the panels. I'm not sure I parsed that. Of little help to Himeno, I try to take up as little space as possible. I leave the search to her and gaze up at the building. I look up and up, but the top of the building is so far, I think my neck might snap. That's magnificent. This building was built not long after I was born. It has been finished before I could walk, but the first and only time I came here was in elementary school. The instant I think back on my first visit, my head begins to hurt. Ah, we have a ghost story. No, I have to try not to think about it. Those are things from long ago, things from the past, things that are done. I can do nothing but deal with the pain that feels as if something is pressing against the inside of my skull. I finally hear Himeno calling me in a loud voice. The elevator's this way, come on! I push away my headache and step through the automatic door. The information at the entrance and the placement of the crane game are exactly the same as that day, giving me a slightly bad feeling. That was the intro? Okay, so now we get a song. I do enjoy anime intros, so it reminds me of Luna or Silver Star Story. Ooh, there are more characters. lots of characters. That was really cool. So when I see intros like that, I figure that these visual novels are soft pilots for an anime that may or may not have followed. I don't think this was turned into an anime, but, you know, that's cool. From the elevator landing, we need to head to the top floor of the separate Manten East building. The elevator is the type that has a glass window so you can see out. That is the only thing that distracts me from my gloom. A crowd of people get on with us, but almost all of them are gone by the time we reach the floor that contains the aquarium. They probably stopped off at the apparel or sundry shops. It isn't that we aren't interested, but Himeno recommends it's crowded now, so let's come back when it's less busy. And that keeps us back, deciding to stick with the plans we made back at the coffee shop. Stepping out on our floor, the atmosphere immediately switches to a lively one. The sound of chatter are drowned out by the roar of a large fan. The light is dim and tinted slightly blue. The windows are also covered, giving the feeling that it has suddenly become night. As this is an aquarium, it makes sense that the concept is based around the ocean. Yes, the pungent smell of salt is a major change. Amazing! It's like we've dived deep into the sea. That's what I thought too. Instead of being targeted at families, lately it seems more like a date spot for adults, or at least that's what the magazine said, but it's true. Even though this is my second time coming here, it feels like the first time. Next to the entrance is the souvenir shop, though it lacks the usual boisterous voices. It appears to be a place that can be reached both from the inside and outside, but it doesn't seem to get many customers. Just as Himeno had said, the aquarium seems to target adults. In an atmosphere like that, even Himeno looks nervous. Hey, Mayu? What's up? I forgot to tell you one important thing. Himeno makes a serious face and brings her mouth up to my ear. What, did you drop your wallet or something? No, it's not. That's not it. This is something that I heard that's a bit of an urban legend, but they say the amount of people going missing is on the rise. There's a rumor that this month alone, the number of missing is well into the double digits. Huh? We have this conversation in front of the metal rack that holds a map of the aquarium. Aside from the map, there is a guidebook to Manten East Building and information about affiliated hotels. During that time, we hear the sound of an elevator opening and closing, but do not see the people going into the aquarium. Manten used to be a shopping district, right? That seems to be why, even if there were a lot of runaways, the media wouldn't pay much attention. but supposedly many of the missing persons had stopped off at the aquarium, I'm assuming? That rumor, who did you hear it from? Who indeed? No one in particular. You know how rumors spread. At Himeno's words, I feel a cold shiver along my spine. Regardless of how credible the rumor is, a sense of dread shoots through me. Considering my past, it's natural that I would feel connected to missing persons at my age range, especially if they are runaways. If that is the case, it would send chills along the back of my neck. Why on earth? You could have told me this before. Well, I thought if you heard about it, Mayu, you might not want to come. Bless you. Oh, so you forgetting to tell me was a lie then, you little... I had intended to protest firmly, but it still ended rather anticlimactically. Ghosts may exist, but they still may be unable to come back, but that doesn't mean I'm interested in visiting places where they are. This is proof that Himeno has her own strange interests, yet it still makes me feel even more worried. The rumor has a continuation. Specifically, people who saw the deep-sea fish booth never came home. Himeno relays those two pieces of information that frighten me with a smile. The rumor itself aside, she wanted to pass over the question of why people were able to see the closed-off deep-sea fishing booth in the first place, not wanting to discuss it at all. Wait a minute, Himeno. Something else is tied in beneath the fear. Something else about the aquarium that the missing persons who didn't come home. That was essentially... That didn't look like a person with a face. Are you okay, Mayu? Sorry. I guess I scared you a bit too much. I think this story's pretty exaggerated, so don't worry about it. I heard it's a fun aquarium. I think we should go take the stories with a grain of salt, right? Through her kindness is misdirected, it's kindness just the same. Though her kindness is misdirected, it's kindness all the same. I like that. Having involuntarily sat down, I take the hand Himeno extends to me. As I slowly rise to my feet, I respond, "Yeah, you're right." To think that I would hear a connection to my precious memory in a place like this. It's strange. Just 5 years, after 5 years, the memory should have faded. I tell myself this, then let out a small sigh. Himeno is actually showing concern, so I sit down on a bench in the rest area next to the souvenir shop. Himeno even brings me a can of cocoa. Cocoa? Cocoa? Cacao? As I'm drinking it, she buys our tickets. I'm guessing that's a cold cocoa beverage. With her doing all of this, I have to go with her. Are you okay, miss? The fact that I'm thinking thoughts like, this canned cocoa, is a little weak is proof that I'm cooling down. As I'm starting to feel better, a male voice calls out to me. While holding my half-finished cocoa, I turn in the direction the voice came from. Rather than the boy's voice I expect, it belongs to an adult, so I respond timidly. I'm okay, so... Oh, no need to be so vigilant. Huh? Worried, maybe? He's wearing a gray knit cap and a brown running shirt. He's tall, even for a guy, so I have to look up at him. His build is almost all muscle, and my shoulders shudder a bit in surprise. Oh, she's getting the tummy wobbles. He's quite handsome. I really like this belt, the weave. It looks kind of like it's made of metal weave. He appears well over the age of 20, so I can't think of any reason he would want to talk to us. Don't like the rings, though. Whether he realizes I'm looking up at him or not, he plunks down right next to me. Even after he sits down, we aren't sitting at the same height. Pretending to fix my posture, I move away from him a little. Don't be a creep, dude. Are you not feeling well? I'm fine, really. Thanks to my nerves and my wariness, I end up speaking unnaturally fast. Moreover, if he really is a kind person, I might end up abusing his good intentions. Huh? How cold. It figures. I say again without thinking. Without my knowing what he's so happy about, the man's mouth loosens into a grin. You're pretty clever. I give up. But, you know, I seriously am worried about you. Your face is pale and all. That's... His kind words taking me by surprise, I inadvertently avert my eyes. For some reason, I become strangely embarrassed and begin tapping my index finger on my can of cocoa. Well, that aside, since you came to have fun, let me show you around. Who is this dude? Why is this dude... What? Go away. We are really just fine. Yeah. The words come out so naturally that they surprise even me. I have now become a complete idiot, and my eyes meet his. I work part-time in this building, so I'm familiar with it. This area, that is. Hey, what are you doing? Himeno. I gasp and look up. Himeno is there carrying 2 tickets and some pamphlets. With her hands on her hips and her cheeks puffed out, Himeno glares at the man with narrowed eyes. I think the only ones allowed to hit on junior high schoolers would be high schoolers. No, I'm not trying to hit on anyone. This girl just looked unwell is all. Mayu? What's happening? I think it was what you'd call hitting on someone. Was it hitting on someone? Yeah, I'd say he was hitting on you, and it was super weird and creepy. I think that it was what you'd call hitting on someone. Good. You're the worst! Himeno pulls my arm with a jerk, pulling me backward. Then she inserts herself between the man and I. Weren't you sitting down? No, whatever. Hey, mister! Himeno mutters, facing the man's chest. On hearing her say mister and giving me a puzzled look, the man shows us the plastic name tag hanging from his neck. I must have forgotten to take this off. Himeno, speaking of which, he did say he works part-time in this building. Ah, then is that his entry card or something? He slaps his knee and rises to his feet. He probably played some kind of sports or something, because the movement as he stands looks so effortless. I'm Hiyoshi Kenji. I work part-time at a shop downstairs. With this entry card, I can get into Manton Aquarium at a discount. Is that a company employee discount? Something like that. I'm not exactly a company employee, but I get in at half off anyway, so I come here often. Really? That's quite unexpected for you, mister. When you become older, you'll crave these soothing experiences as well. I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm not a fan of this interaction. And I'm not old enough to be a mister. Now he says it. Compared to us, you're definitely old enough to be a mister. Hiyoshi-san grimaces angrily, then sniffs in a self-deprecating manner. He appears to be a little older than a college student, so calling him old enough to be a mister is probably rude, but Himeno only said the impression he gave was pretty close. With the aquarium as a shared point of interest, Himeno's attitude toward Hiyoshi-san softens. As proof, Himeno talks to Hiyoshi-san about the shops in the building. Get to the aquarium, come on! I don't really know a lot about brands, so I sip my remaining cocoa and listen from the outside. My iced cocoa had become lukewarm cocoa. Well, mister, as you are also well-versed in... Are you also well-versed in urban legends? On hearing Himeno's question, my head pops up in surprise. The corners of Hiyoshi-san's mouth lift into a grin. That's rather unexpected for you as well, so you're interested in such things. Of course I am. You're only young once, so you might as well satisfy your curiosity. We're looking into the closed-down deep-sea fish exhibit. There's a rumor that it's only open on the day of the full moon. Do you know anything about it? Hiyoshi-san places his hands on his chin and looks down, grunting loudly. He glances at me, looking over at the entrance, and then finally turns to Himeno and opens his mouth. I think you need to give up on that one thing. Naturally, since I'm a regular here, I often hear rumors like there are spirits floating in the tanks, or every time a person dies, the jellyfish tank increases by 1, and so on. Himeno-chan, the story you mentioned shouldn't be anything more than one of those rumors, but stop dancing around it, just tell me. Previously, I knew someone who went looking into this just as you girls are doing now, Himeno-chan. He went missing soon after. Missing? Without thinking about it, I joined the conversation. If someone has gone missing at the Manten Aquarium, it holds significance for me as well. Is that for real? I glance back in surprise. Himeno is still looking at him with doubt in her eyes. Hiyoshi-san listens to what Himeno says, and with a playful smile he responds, "Just kidding. It's a lie. I don't believe you." I wonder if it is a lie. Because of those words he muttered, my curiosity has been piqued. I couldn't imagine the tense face he made as he told the story as an acquaintance who went missing being faked. That's right. But if that's the case, then this really might interest you, Mayu. I've thought from the beginning that it would be better just to give up. No way. I've already bought the tickets anyway. Himeno's face shows that she's enjoying herself to the end, and she takes my arm to gently pull me closer to her. This was the signal that she was ready to go, and in my mind I prayed that nothing would happen. And that's where we're going to end today's video. Sorry everybody, big tease there, but we're out of time. So if you want to see more of this game, give it the old thumbs up, and maybe we'll finish it on a live stream or set of live streams, and you can play along and help me determine the decision points. If you enjoyed this video, please give it the old thumbs up, give it some love, and let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Also, check out my weekly update this week for a special surprise and then come back and leave a comment. So, you know, ooh, mystery. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and when you do, don't forget to hit that dingy bell, because that will let you know when I upload new videos, which I do every single day. My name is Step. We have been playing Sound of Drop Fall into Poison here today on this Sunday Storytime, and that's going to be it. So thanks very much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.